participants begin to speak to the press. When they speak, are interviewed and the rest of that, you begin to get to have more insight into what and why they are there, into what they are doing and why they are there. What's the benefit? You know what I mean? Talk about your country, CNN, BBC, all those places. They are there too. The king is there. King Charles is there. The media is there. But the reason why KOOLU will always spark 200, 400, 500, 600 people to go before he gets to a place is because those are the people that you will see in the audience. Do you get that? Those ones that will be clapping. Bah, 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 bah. You'll be like, what did they clap for now? Who are they clapping for? Eh? I told you, they will never leave him alone with any media house, anytime, any day. Never. Without them writing the scripts, what the person is going to ask, and editing the broad. It will never, Tifnubu will never join you in any live chats talking about Nigeria. Ko possible. Ko le happen. Do you get that? That's why they have to go with 600 people. So that they can fill up everywhere. They can make him feel like he's in Nigeria. The moment he's no longer with those people, he's completely lost. Totally. See how he's standing there like, why? Come on, man. Eh? Is that not even embarrassing? Baba, what is going on, man? Come on, man. Come on, man. He didn't move. Oh. He probably didn't even know. Some said he may even be high. You know, why won't those speculations continue to pop up? But the wastage, Abi, the country that is begging for money. Here is one country in Africa who has a leader. Just a reminder, you've seen it before.
That I'm now cleaning up, who will be the loudest in calling me names, claiming that I am the problem, and calling on citizens to attack me. But I'm not intimidated by that. I'm here to serve Malawians. And to do so, I'm prepared to do things that are painful as long as they are the right things. The most painful thing by far has been the recent devaluation of our currency to correct the false value of the kwacha based on nothing and rebuild true value in the kwacha based on production of exports. I know that this decision has caused a lot of pain, and I know that all of us now have to make big adjustments in spending so that we can prioritize those areas that are most productive and stay the course until our economy becomes productive and profitable again. In making those painful adjustments, I myself have to lead by example. This is why, effective immediately, all of my international trips between now and the end of the fiscal year, beginning with my trip to COP28 at the end of this month, are canceled. By extension, I'm putting a freeze on all public-funded international trips for all public officers at all levels, including those in parastatals, until the end of the financial year in March. In fact, all cabinet members currently abroad on public-funded trips must return to Malawi with immediate effect. Any travel deemed absolutely necessary by anyone during that period must be submitted to my office for my personal authorization. Secondly, I order that all fuel entitlements for cabinet ministers, principal secretaries, directors, and all members of senior management of public institutions should be cut in half with immediate effect. Thirdly, until further notice, I order the Secretary, the President, and Cabinet to circulate to all public institutions a criteria for local trainings and local travel that will be acceptable, as well as a cap on how much of their budgets can be spent on allowances for such trainings and trips. By doing this, I am effectively ending the practice of draining public coffers to spend on allowances for useless activities. I know that there will be some who created this mess that I'm now cleaning up, who will be the loudest in calling me names, claiming that I'm now cleaning up, who will be the...
That is the president of Malawi. It wasn't just saying, it was acting. And acting alone will make everyone who believes they are working for him and the country to toe the same path. How hard is that? They removed subsidy. A fraud that they are telling you to believe, and some of you are actually saying it to yourself, and you continue to try to say it until you will believe it. They removed subsidy, and they have been saving money from subsidy. If we ask you now, how much have they saved from the removal of subsidy? Where is the money? Fight go start. Inside Nigeria, but first, we'll go inside their Senate, where Abaribe and Oshiomole were having a breakbat over the submission of empty box as a budget by Tifnumbu. We are back. We are back now to Abuja.
From this budget. First, the Federal Executive Council approved, as part of this budget, the 8-point, I will say, agenda for the budget. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, nothing about power. Yet, in the same place, they are talking about employment. How are you going to employ anybody without power? How will the people who are welders, vulcanizers, and everybody do any work without power? So, and then in the main budget itself, I took time to go and look through the budget, and we're seeing that what was put for power was just about 3% of the total budget. Well, how will 3% of the total budget deal with an issue that is fundamental to the economy? Because if you don't have power, you do nothing. Every other thing that we are talking about, how would that work? So I think that this budget, I pray that we look around at it again as a Senate and see how we reorganize the priorities in the budget. Otherwise, what we will see is garbage in, garbage out.
The minority leader.
I wrote on the register that I want to speak today, not yesterday. I only commented on child abuse and women abuse yesterday. If that is an offense to the acting leader, thank God you are acting. Mr. President, let me lend my voice and commend you for getting us to sit today, being Friday. I think this is to respond to Mr. President's request that we do everything we can to maintain the budget cycle. And you have provided leadership for us to sit. And that for me is an indication that we are ready to make all the sacrifices we need to make to ensure that the National Assembly is not found wanting in terms of the critical idea of when does this budget take effect. There is no need to recycle the arguments already made about the key objectives. They are laudable, they are clear, they are doable. But I want us to be careful in commenting on some of the issues that we had already discussed, namely exchange rate. Those were discussed about 2 weeks before. And I'm not sure it's going to be helpful for us to revisit it. Have you already passed a decision on it? But the additional point I want to raise is that exchange rate is not a matter for parliaments to debate. It should not be a political issue. It is a matter that should be driven by competent, well-skilled, well-thought-out macroeconomic policy. It is those policies in effect that will determine whether the naira dashes up or it dashes down. I believe, as the president said yesterday, we are supposed to do everything bold, take tough decisions on the economy, block leakages, ensure that Nigerian people get value for money, and we sensibly focus on job creation, which simply means producing more at home rather than importing more from abroad. If those policies are achieved, they would actually have positive impact on exchange rate. We have to be careful. We can't endorse the activities of those who are operating outside the system as being the key drivers or those who determine what our exchange rate should be. That is why those of people who claim that they are buying naira at 1,100, I'm like, we as senators, we shouldn't be seen to be patronizing a market that is unknown to law. Therefore, I think the 750 is okay. If I have my way, it should be 500. Because the indicator should be that as a nation, we do not accept that the naira continue to suffer endless flogging. It makes macroeconomic objective, in my view, to target the idea of bringing down the exchange rate and achieve stability at the rate of 750 or even below. Lastly, in order to keep to time, sir, I hope that those resolutions we pass in this house that we directed to Parliament, this is the occasion to visit them, with particular reference to the Bini, Auchi, Okene,
Thank you very much. Nuisance leleyi.
Nuisance ni àwọn eléyìí. Now, I was kind of, I wanted you to see the convo they were having over the faceless budget that, was sent to them through a flash drive. They said, however, in the area of how much have they really saved? Like, forget about the word salad, all the word, blah, 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 those are just words, all right? Take a look at their actions. A broke country who produces almost nothing, but import almost everything. The naira has no backing. In their budget, there is no investment in the real economy to improve the naira. Nothing, just talk. Microeconomy, macro, this nonsense they talk about, right? On the other hand, okay, they are the saboteurs, the ones that will never allow that naira to breathe. One of them was defending, the same guy who defended the Bukwari's madness, Aliun Dume, a Boko Haram, what do you call it, informant, be sympathizer himself too. It was out just 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? And as usual, since the National Assembly has become a place where the national anthem can take probably the back seat for Tifnumbu's anthem, he was there to defend that. He said they also shouted Sai Baba, Sai Baba, Sai Baba during the Bukwari's time inside the National Assembly. But here, he said Tifnumbu is making tough decisions for you. including subsidy. I want you to listen to him, because the question I'm going to ask you afterward is going to be, do you know how much they have saved? And more. Probably not. Let it just be here.
There's a lot of suffering in the land.
Yes.
And that is a very hard message to sell.
But they all Nigerians also agree that some of the hard decisions is something that need to be taken. You can imagine what we saved from the period he had just announced abruptly that, look, this is all subsidy something, no more. And
Like a very good friend, Goswell Akpabio, said, that the pain that we're experiencing is going to be like the pain of a childbirth. You agree with him, though?
Yeah, I agree that it's not something like that. I agree with him on that. And also it's something like, Nigeria was sick. It's like malaria. You need to take chloroquine, or very bitter, But after some time, you even get heightened level in, when you are treating malaria. But if you don't take the treatment, it can kill you. You understand? So I think it's good that the president took that kind of a decision. And I'm happy that he has a good team around him. So far, so good.
You look at the recommendation of UNESCO, for example, on funding education, and you look at the quota or the sectoral, the disposition of the president in terms of the allocation for education, for example, is just a paltry 7.9%, 2.18 trillion across all the tertiary and other sectors of education.
That is okay. There is an introduction of students' scholarship now. Let me say again, education is very important, but when you don't secure the country and you don't create the enabling environment, you are talking about increasing the percentage to meet the UNESCO quota
suggestion.
Suggestion. I think this will come up later, but let's secure the country first. Let's secure the country as he proposes. Let's invest in this social investment that the president quickly brought amendment to the Social Investment Act, which he already signed. And in this year he budgeted, I think, 534 billion for social investment.
I was going to come to that. Social development and poverty reduction program, 534 billion.
No,
that's 2% of the budget.
Yes.
I mean, you and your colleagues are still investigating what was spent under the Buhari government on these social intervention programs.
Yes.
And this kind of money going there, do you trust that this money will really go directly to Nigerians? That's a major problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a major problem, but you can see the president is even serious. He removed it from Ministry of Humanitarian and brought it under the vice president, so there will be more eyes, watching over it. And we too, we have seen it. But the National Assembly have been talking about it even during the Buhari administration. I confronted them at one time. I said it, I challenged it, and I was, I've been vindicated because actually most of them literally stole the money
that was meant for social intervention.
Yes, and they keep on talking about statistics and this and all that, and it was all full of lies. But this time around, Mr. President has changed it.
So those monies for welfare, they were being stolen?
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that what was going on?
Are you cross-examining me?
No, I'm asking you a question, Senator.
So if people didn't get it and the money is not there, what happened? Let me ask you.
What will you and your colleagues do about this?
Supposing money has been budgeted, all right? And people were claiming that so amount has been paid, and there was nothing to show on ground. Where is the money?
Maybe they kept it in the bank.
Okay, so that is your answer.
So I wanted to ask you, what would you and your colleague now do about that?
We are going to look at it more. That is to do our thorough job and oversight. We have started. We have started doing that, and this is the 10th Senate. It's different. And this is President Tinubu, not Buhari. And this Federal Executive Council too is a different one. All the team, the Vice President, and then there are some changes. And most people now understand though, that this president is very serious about turning things around. So I don't think he will tolerate anybody that was going to be a stumbling block around him or.
So Nigerians should have high expectation and high hopes.
I have that one too. And honestly,
New Zanz Lele.
nuisance.
Do you need somebody else to tell you that the plot to scam you has been perfected? Are you too slow not to see and smell it and smell that? Especially when they brought the question to the social security investment, the money that Bokwari was sharing. For 4 years, Bokwari was sharing 500 billion to the poorest Nigerians. And the money disappeared. That's why he confirmed that he said the money was gone. There's no real statistic, anything to back it. Nothing. So what are you doing about it now? Then he readjusted. What's he going to do about it? He knows that the money is gone. Everybody is taking their own share. Here you get. Tifnubu is going to take his. And those who are going to, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. When they said they should share money for you for palliative, they borrowed money in your name. 800 billion for subsidy removal palliative. How much they consider one share to all of you? And how much have you received so far? Shishi. Shingbai. But 800 billion, those lawmakers, they got 240 billion from it. 240 billion. Nigeria has no money to actually fund their lifestyle anymore. But who gives a damn? They don't care about that. That's your problem. If they have to borrow it, if they have to print it, they can continue to give you the word salad that makes you believe that something is actually going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Development, you can keep dreaming. You can't build anything around where you have these parasites. They are parasites. They are the ones, it's like giving them blank check. They can write any amount. They can take any money. They can do anything. They can, you know what I mean? Like, nobody to hold them. And those are the money that are, somebody once said that as bad as Nigeria is right now, if they give him 40 billion naira, 45 billion naira, he will build a business that will employ 2,000 people, okay? And it will be having a turnover that is not, that is the, what do you call it? The profit that is not less than 500 million naira every month. Somebody said that. That is the money these criminals will use to buy cars. Who gives a damn about getting you jobs? In the budget that you are reading, so they have not started the padding of it, or they will pad all of that, okay? But ask him, he took a decision to remove subsidy. How much have you now saved from that subsidy? How much have you borrowed to subsidize naira to dollar? Well, it's up to you. For those of you who are pretty much like easily swayed and deceived, here is one honorable who said, listen, these people, they have, they only understand one language, and that is.
Being one of the junior defense lawyers for Kesarewa, and throughout, Kesarewa argued against for non-violence. Nigeria has no respect for people who argue for non-violence. They simply hung him. After Ken was killed, it wasn't long, I became lawyer to Atiketon, militant leader. You shoot him, he will shoot you back. And at the end of the day, when Yaradua wanted to negotiate with Atiketon, they sent a presidential jet. And the presidential jet carried him and I and his militants to Abuja. We sat and negotiated. The only thing Nigeria respects today is militancy. Capacity to fight and defend for yourself. All this thing Wisey is talking, mobilize campaign. Waste of time. The militants in the Niger Delta today are effectively nominating people as commissioners, governors, legislators, ministers, all over the place. So, if anybody tells you that you can continue to function the way you're doing, and be thinking that you cannot, let me tell you the truth. Shore's message is far more resonates with the masses than that of Peter. But Shore no get money now. That's the truth. That's the truth. So let us face it. Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are angry, but they are not sufficiently angry. They will soon get sufficiently angry. Amen. And I am saying that before they get sufficiently angry, the judges that are manipulating the judicial process are doing what they should do. That is what they know to do. The politicians who are rigging elections are doing what they should do. That is what they understand to do. The INEC officials who are collaborating, people like Prof and all the rest of them, are doing what they will do. You know, what the only people who are not doing what they should do are the masses who are suffering, who are victims. I subscribe to the masses understanding that you will never get justice from the legislature. Never. You will never get justice from the executive. Never, ever. You will never get justice from the judiciary. You will get justice through your organization and your capacity and the courage to resist by every means necessary. It is not a moral question. It is not a moral question. If you ever think it's a moral question, you want to march on the street and they will now drive you away, you're wasting your time. You must be prepared to resist them by every means necessary. Thank you very much.
We are getting there. I saw a video of Unwanyam telling the Igbos who are victims of a political, ethnic persecution, ethnic profiling, that is so obvious that those who are still living in their own politically correct minds, they can continue to live in that, as pronounced as it is. The likes of Nwanyanwu of Ohaneze Ndigbo, right? They have become so politically irrelevant that I don't think their words actually moves anything anymore. But I'm going to play you that. Then I'm going to remind all of us that those who are witnessing the attack on the Igbos right now across Nigeria, I mean, since APC, Egbekegbe came on 8 years ago, I have a reminder for you. So that if everybody wants to live in their fake one Nigeria, at least I will remind you of the truth. Now, knowing the truth and going for the lies, I will also remind you to live by the consequences of your choices and actions. You will not claim ignorance that much, because ignorance is not an excuse anymore, is it? Listen to Wanyao. I picked that up yesterday. But yeah, please.
Progress towards the unity, towards the success of Nigeria in every field. Any honest Nigeria will agree that Igbos have played a major role in every aspect of life that has shaped the destiny of our great country, Nigeria. Probably history of Nigeria as a country started when Frederick Lugard in 1914 amalgamated Northern Protectorate and Southern Protectorate. But I want you to know that Igbos have existed where we live today in Nigeria even before Christ was born. I am setting up a museum of Igbo history. And when the results come out, you will see that Igbos are perhaps where they live today. We have been very old there. So we are old. In Nigeria, Igbo activity in Lagos and in many parts of Nigeria predate the 1914 amalgamation by Frederick Lugard. So in effect, Igbos have been part of this territory called Nigeria for a very long time. In 1914, Nigeria was amalgamated. we now became one country. That gave Nigeria Igbos the determination to move around, to help in building a country, Nigeria. Igbos, Igbo traders, Igbo entrepreneurs, Igbo artisans, Igbo craftsmen dispersed all over the country. Our people left our home in the eastern part and went to the north and went to the west. Eventually, Lagos became the federal capital. And of course, like in all countries, a national capital is a challenge. The development of a national capital is a challenge not only to those who are domiciled there, but it's a challenge to anybody who regards himself as a patriotic citizen of Nigeria. So when Lagos was accepted as capital of Nigeria, Igbos, most of them are dead today, our forebears, they rose to the challenge. Challenge of that time is investment. Investment, massive investment to make the capital Lagos a proper, a fitting headquarters for Nigeria. That's how Igbos scattered all over. That's how Igbos moved into Lagos by a sense of patriotism. Igbos came into Lagos, they found some swampy lands, they bought the land. Igbos, when they came to Lagos, they never came there to take anybody's property. They came there, they saw empty, they bought the land, they converted swampy lands to habitable places. They built businesses, they built homes, they built schools, they developed Lagos. In effect, without the enterprise, without the patriotism of Igbos, of Nigerians like the Igbos, many other Nigerians did the same, but it will appear, because of population, Igbos were in large number. But these pioneers, these our forebears, are the heroes of the time, the heroes of what we call today a very strong Lagos. When they came there, Lagos was basically swamp, but they converted it to very wonderful, beautiful headquarters we see today in Nigeria. I want on this occasion to salute our forebears. I want to salute all those Igbos, our people who left their home, the comfort of their home in eastern Nigeria, and crossed the Niger and went to Lagos and participated in developing Lagos. In the normal character of Igbos, when they went to Lagos, they didn't say that the property there is their own. They made sure they identified the owners. I have it on record that Igbos, wherever they went, they bought the land, they obeyed the laws, both local and federal, and they have been law-abiding. And in return, they were very highly respected by the natives. People in Lagos respected, the Yorubas respected Igbos. They built very solid and sound relationship with Igbos. Igbos lived in Lagos without any problem, in peace and in love. And that was a proper and fitting action to their behavior, their character, or coming to help in developing the Lagos. We continued in Nigeria until 1960. We had independence. At independence, Nigeria had a constitution. That constitution was a good constitution.
Thank you very much for the beautiful rendition of Igbo's entrepreneurship, enterprising, and all of that, rich and true. But that is not what we are talking about. In Nigeria, to those of you who really are so, I don't know what to call it, so afraid to speak exactly what it is, to say it the way it is, you are ignoring the obvious that the Igbos in Nigeria are fighting, they are facing a cold war from the rest of Nigeria. And a cold war is mostly not physical, like you will see. The Igbos in Nigeria, are believed that they can never be president or lead Nigeria. This kind of narratives and the actions in that same Lagos today, if anybody has any Igbo sort of a bloodline, you cannot be appointed into the political office in Lagos State now. If they should know, you will be sacked with immediate effect. Because they are saying that the Igbos, the fascist APC, Egbekegbe, they are saying that the Igbos are coming for the Yorubas. And they are doing everything to make sure that that becomes the norm. They are already calling their fellow Yorubas who have Igbo bloodline as contaminated blood. We are already seeing that. So if anybody wants to speak, don't tell us about everything we know about the Igbos. Tell us, how are the Igbos perceived and treated in the existing Nigeria? This is a reminder. 8 years ago, this was a thing. It's a flashback. Sit back and listen.
Congrats, Nigeria. Happy Democracy Day. Press 1 to copy this tune.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still water.
Alaji, congratulations. Thank you very much, Kule. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Honestly, I accept your congratulations, even though I'm PDP. Because you remember one time when the fighting in Borno, when our people were being killed left and right. Then what is it, Alaji? I said, do you remember one time when our people were being killed in Borno State, left and right, Bauchi, Gombe, everywhere in the north? Of course. I remember you were saying that was there any Southerner among us, we were the one killing ourselves. I always remember this statement, Mr. Kule. But look at this today now. Today our brother is in charge, and I'm sure he made it clear to the world. The first thing he said was that he was moving the command of Nigerian army to Maiduguri until when Boko Haram is over. So if not your brother as the president, who will do it for you? But we could have done it to anybody in Nigeria. But you can see that some people refuse to do it for us. So really, really, today I understand why we have to have the presidency, honestly. No, it's like that, Kule. Kule is like that. Because how can anybody convince us that some miscreants cannot be dealt with by Nigerian army? Why can't we believe it was deliberately left? Even if there is no involvement of government hand in it, why can't we believe that it was deliberate? Let them kill themselves. Well, it has come out even very clear, because it was at a point in our campaign, they were saying that by the killings of Boko Haram, there will be no population again. In fact, let me tell you why the North insisted that Jonathan has to go, because we had the plan that if Jonathan continues, the same problem will happen in Kano, the same problem will happen in Sokoto, the same problem will happen in Jos and Ebro until when our population is depleted. No. We have had a wonderful experience, honestly.
In order to avoid the problem, that's why I said the people.
No, whether he has said or not, the North it was clear voting now. What could he have done?
Remember what Babangida did for us?
Babangida, you see, what happened was, even when Babangida did it, you understand? Do you get me? The bulk of the population that voted was from the North. And Rimi said it. Since Babangida was in Abuja, Governor Rimi of Kano State, then, former governor of Kano State, he said, if there's in Abiola in Lagos, Abiola Babangida will have said it is Yoruba that did it. So Abiola should fly to Kano, they will swear him as president, and they'll stand their ground. Before we know, they rallied around Abiola, they said, don't go to North, if you go, they will kill you. Maybe so happened. Do you understand?
No.
So I'm coming now. So Babangida got the...
And then Abacha has incarcerated him for many years.
I'm coming now. I'm coming. Before we are talking about the cancellation now, the cancellation of the elections. And two, didn't you not see that even from the West, there were people who supported there are big men who joined in the cancellation of the elections. But whatever it is, at that time, it was nobody was killing the Yorubas left and right. Babangida was virtually betraying everybody. And today, have you not seen him on TV? Have you not seen how he was looking? Is God not wonderful? Did you not see Babangida? Even though I have promised as from today, so long as he's my brother from the north, even if he's eating everybody in Nigeria fresh, you come out with Nigerian man leg eating, I will not say it's bad again. Because I have learned how to support my people from what I have seen with Igbos and some people in Nigeria with Jonathan.
Man, you must thank God for Yoruba. Yoruba supported by otherwise we don't have come.
No, I'm coming, please. I'm coming. Let me tell you one fact. I'm coming. Listen to me, Kule. A section of Yoruba supported Buhari. Listen to me, please. Let us make this clear. You understand? We are all politicians.
Yes.
The Tinebus, since 1960s, since the Oyibo left the country, Yoruba was told one word. We are first Yorubas. You are first Yoruba before you are a Muslim, you are a Christian or Nigerian.
Yes.
So or not so?
Yeah, you are right.
Abi? Okay.
Yes, you are right.
Now, all along, a Yoruba man, whoever he is, whether Muslim or Christian, preferred anybody in this house to rule him than a Hausaman from the north. That's the truth about it. So, fortunately, I'm coming, sir. Let me learn. Fortunately, the center is controlled by non-Muslim, non-Northerners. Are you getting me? And Jonathan, fortunately for the North, Jonathan decided to use religion and slash the Yorubas to the extent, for the first time, Yorubas were divided religiously. To the extent Muslims, Yorubas stood their ground and said they were not supporting Jonathan. They even refused to attend the meetings of the Jonathan. The papers are there, their statements are there in the papers. So or not so, sir?
No, I like this.
Read it, it's there. That's the truth. It's there. Even when he went, there were some few Muslim leaders who met Jonathan. The Supreme Council of Islam of Western Nigeria, or Yoruba land, came out clearly and said no, they disagreed. Do you get me? We know the population of Yoruba, close to 80%, or let's say close to 60% are Muslim. This man constituted a national conference. This is the Yorubas that were saying it. We read it and we had them saying it. So that succeeded in dividing the Yoruba themselves. Now, two, the humiliation, whatever they did to us, our own was that let them kill us and reduce our population. But at least they still know that we are significant politically and they allowed us to maintain some position. But in the case of Yorubas, they were sliced out of the whole system. So or not so. That was how Tinubu and
the issue of Boko Haram, if we have to talk about Boko Haram, it's not from the south now.
I am coming now. Let me forget about Boko Haram now. We brought about the Yoruba politics. Now, Tinubu and the Yorubas generally carried what happened to them and went to Kaduna and met them in Kaduna and begged them that we have to put our head together. Look, sir, let me tell you the truth and find out. At a point, the Yoruba, being humiliated under Jonathan, were even considering to cut off and put their Oduduwa Republic. But they realized if they do that, the Igbos were completely in charge of finance, civil service, security, and everything. If they dare do that,
now East and the North, they enjoy
exactly. I'm coming now. The Yorubas now.
You didn't benefit at all.
I'm coming. Yes, the Yoruba at a point, the Yoruba intelligence at a point realized that if they cut off, the Igbos will finish them. If they stay as it is and Igbo continue ruling, they will be completely finished. Before Jonathan, significant part of the economy, who are the accountants are Yorubas, who are the judiciary and lawyers are Yorubas, who are the civil service are Yorubas. Today you can't find any one of them. So or not so? So that's why the Yorubas say, even if we want to leave this country, we must get this power out of the hand of the Igbos and reposition ourselves.
The Northerners really benefited from that Jonathan too much, Alagi. We have the calculations of the government.
We agree. What can he do? He must now. He must. He wouldn't do to us that. He must. He knows that we can do it. He must deal with us. So that was why the Yoruba said no. Whatever it is. So, but what I assure you,
let's keep on praying for President Buhari.
Oga, we have.
I just thought I should remind you of that. Just in case if you have been so carried away with your one Nigerian. And as an Igbo man or woman watching this broadcast, I don't know how much you hate yourself. There's something called self-hate, you know, when people feels like they should be desired. Like they are sad that they will be sad if people don't show that they love them or I love you. They wanted to be loved. They wanted to be, you know, to be loved, even by people who are constantly and regularly